Welcome to Backyard Cigars. So glad that you could join me today as I bring you a cigar that was released this year by a family that we may or may not have heard of. Now, Tim Ozgener is the son of Gano Ozgener, the founder of CAO, and CAO was founded as a pipe tobacco company. Of course, we now know it as much more than just that. Now, this cigar is a box-pressed Robusto 5x52. The Ozgener Bosphorus B52 is paying homage to Tim's roots in Turkey. There is the Bosphorus Strait that runs in, I believe, in Istanbul or in somewhere in Turkey. And so this is paying homage to that with the name. And it's gotten a lot of rave reviews. Cigar Aficionado went ahead and gave it a 92 rating or something like that. I have smoked it before, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. I'm going to smoke it and I'm going to give you my honest and, well, just my honest opinion, right? Because we're not here to really decide, at least I feel as a reviewer, that I'm not really here to decide what you should or should not smoke. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to give you information, give you my take of it, and you make the decision. Now, if you want to listen to me or take into account what I'm saying, then do so. But I always say, let your taste buds be the judge. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to let the taste buds be the judge. Now, I've had this in the humidor for, I don't know, a few months at 6566 RH, as is the norm for me. Colorado Maduro wrapper, but more like just plain Colorado, right? This is an Ecuadorian Sumatran wrapper. It has a double binder, which consists of Nicaraguan and Ecuadorian Connecticut leaves. It has a Nicaraguan filler, and it is handmade in the Dominican Republic. So those are the specs, and it's 5x52 box pressed. You know that this is sort of a comeback for Tim Ozgener, as he was out of the business for a while and now he's back in. And he's done numerous interviews where he talks about his love of cigars and how he fell in love with cigars when he first smoked a Cuban cigar, one of his father's Cubans. And that's a typical story, right? A lot of us have that story. We fall in love with the cigar. It's the first cigar we try is a Cuban, and then we move on from there. Whether or not you think that Cuban cigars are the best in the world or New World cigars are the best in the world, we're not going to dispute that today. But we will talk about this cigar. So it had, I believe, a semi-closed foot. And so I'm just letting that kind of burn through. I got the rush of the tobacco. Not much on that wrapper leaf. A little spice. Some sweetness. Double binder on this goes back to the old Cuban style. And I've talked a lot about double binders with various cigar makers, but and a lot of cigar makers say it's not something you need to do. It does add another layer, so to speak, of something within the blend. It can impart some additional flavor, but primarily it's to structure the cigar. It might be a part of the design. In regards to the combustion and how long it's going to burn, whether it's going to be a slow burner or just overall it could be to add strength. So it could be a number of different reasons. Why does Don Pepin, Jose Pepin Garcia, why does he use double binders other than the fact that he is Cuban and that goes along with the Cuban tradition? I don't know. I haven't spoken to Pepin, so I couldn't tell you why he does it, but I do know that it is more commonplace within the Cuban community of cigar makers and harkens back to the olden days of Cuba where you had double binders on cigars. It's kind of like a dusty, earthy note that I'm getting. A little bit of pepper in the finish. There's a lot of times you get pepper in the finish, and you get different types of doses. This pepper is like a dirty pepper, so to speak. It's just kind of mingled in there with that raw, kind of like damp, moist earth type of feeling. So yeah, there's a tree limb that came down the fence. The Northeast has been hit with several storms in the last week, and some pretty heavy winds. And this one I actually spotted before it came down, so I was able to move all of my things out of the way, and of course be smart enough not to be out here trying to do anything. Not that I was in all of that rain, but it was something good that I picked it up, and I was able to clear a lot of the stuff out. But did hit some wires, and it's it's under consideration right now. What's going to happen with this? Are we going to cut it up? Use it for firewood next year after it's been seasoned, or just have someone cart it away? We don't know yet. I'm going to leave that in the hands of the professionals. Although I wouldn't mind chopping this baby up and seasoning the wood for future firewood. Not that I can use the firewood, but I know people who can. What am I getting from the cigar right now? I mean, we're not very early in on the cigar, and look, I mean, right now it's earth and pepper, hint of sweetness. That's it. I'm gonna wait till it develops a little bit more so we can talk more about it. I will tell you that I love the band on this cigar. It's got two bands on this, and it's a beautiful band. And the cigar looks very good. It has very good presentation. The box press is nicely done. It's not a deep box press. It's just a nicely done box press. Now, it isn't lost on me that a lot of people have been complaining about box press cigars, and that box press cigars have not been selling as much. Now, I don't have the statistics to back this up. Things that I've read and heard, things that have been said to me, but I will say that it's interesting that he chose to go with a box press cigar, considering that. But nonetheless, the band does draw attention to the cigar, and for those that are familiar with the Ozgener family heritage, they will, of course, give it a shot. Should you give it a shot? Now, that's a better question. First inch in, lots of heavy earth, pepper, mild sweetness, spiciness, robust, medium bodied, medium strength, full of flavor, yes, burning well, decent aroma, no draw issues whatsoever. And I just have to say that, there's this oakiness that creeps in that is just won't quit. I was talking recently with someone about how subjective the taste can be. Actually, he's sort of a blender, and he knows quite a lot about tobacco. And he was saying, yeah, there's just so many times that I'll read a review, see a review on a cigar, and I come away with this feeling of that dude's full of BS, or whatever they're tasting, I just didn't taste respectfully. And I get that. I do, because I understand how subjective our taste buds can be. What you taste and what I taste are different. Our age plays a part. What we eat plays a part. Even our cultural outlook can play a role in it. It's just so weird on how we taste things and how we decipher that. And some of us taste things and can't decipher it. It's like you can't always be able to name everything that you're tasting, but you know what you're tasting and you're familiar with it, and you either like it or you don't, obviously. But there are times where you taste something, and it could be anything, food, and you're like, I feel like I've had this before. What's this ingredient that I am, picking up on, and you just can't pick up on it? Well, with this cigar, I haven't really felt that way. I mean, it's just been really earthy and spicy so far. Earth, spice, oak, touches of leather, some hints of sweetness. But folks, it's rather boring. I just find it boring. I find it monotone. I find it that it's not giving me something unique. It's not giving me anything. I'm a little out of breath. A guy came here and he's got to pick up the tree. So I had to help him get that tree out of here. It's a lot heavier than it looks, let me tell you. But we got it out. Anyway, back to the cigar. Look, it's not a bad cigar. I mean, I think you want $12 for it, $13, something like that. I was able to purchase it through a site that was linked to a shop out in Tennessee, Nashville, I believe. So this is a Nashville distributed cigar. I don't know where else you can get it. I haven't checked. Quite possibly it's available. It is distributed, I believe, through I don't know if it's distributed through Crown Heads. Ozgener, I believe, owns Crown Heads, so you've probably had some of their cigars, right? I mean, it's just, look, I'd be lying to you if I would sit here and tell you that it's impressive, because it's not. But it's not the worst cigar either. Great construction on it, and great presentation, but that's not gonna really make up for what I feel is lacking in the blend. And that's just my opinion, of course. When I smoked it the first time, I tasted the same exact thing. I'm having the same exact experience that I had when I smoked it the first time. And I thought to myself, I had only given it about a month, maybe a few weeks to rest when I first got it. So I said, maybe as it spends a little bit more time in my humidor, maybe when I have that second stick, it'll be a little different. Maybe. Well, that hasn't happened. I think we all look at the price of a cigar and sometimes wonder, or maybe not sometimes, but maybe all the time. And we think to ourselves, why are we going to shell out this amount of money for this cigar when we're not sure what it offers, or perhaps it's not holding that type of value to us? We could think that. We're allowed to think that. And obviously the market's going to dictate what some people are going to charge for their cigars and so on. The bills got to get paid, right? But I'm finding this an okay cigar so far. That's it. Final third, secondary band is off. You get some notes of bitter chocolate. There's some mild, subtle coffee notes. It does taste better in this final third, and that's a good thing, of course. Smoke output is good. It's 62 degrees with 50% humidity today. And that wrapper's holding up pretty well. It's not cold out here. Yeah, it's a good smoke. Look, nothing that I have said has said that it's bad. It's just not my cup of tea, and not because I can't appreciate heavy earthy profiles. I've said this before. I can appreciate things, and I'm not saying the balance is off on this. I'm not feeling that. I feel the balance is there. I just feel like it's for me, it's something that I've had before, and I've had it in a better way. That's the best way I can put it right now. Is it worth trying, though, Jose? Is it worth trying? I would tell you that if you like this type of profile, the one I've described, with some of the flavors that I've described, perhaps it is worth trying for you. But how interesting of a smoke, how exciting of a smoke will it be for you? I don't know. For me, it hasn't really been that much excitement. Some people might say, why are you, pissing on Tim's welcome back party or welcome back parade? No one's doing that. This is just the reality here, that you'll debut a cigar line, you'll get a blend ready, you'll put it out there, you'll have it presented in the best possible way, and you're still going to find someone that isn't impressed or that isn't in love with what you've put out. That's why, as a cigar maker, I would think that the goal is to continue to put some things out that are going to meet the demand for the flavor profiles that are out there. And right now, a lot of people are into Maduro cigars, double Maduros, triple Maduros, whatever you want to call them. That's the craze. San Andres and so forth. Ecuadorian Sumatra, you're still going to find it. It's a classic wrapper. It's dependable. It works well in blends. Look, guys, I'm just giving it to you straight here. It's held its ash very well. That has impressed me, and so in that respect, it's good. I don't know how much of that matters to you. Touches of leather and oak, spiciness toned down right now, and some pepper. And really, it's given you a lot of different flavors for you to experience. So in that regard, it has been consistent from first, third to now, and really provided the same kind of flavor profile. So it hasn't changed much, it hasn't transitioned much. That's where we're at. Some people say that if you don't nub a cigar, if you don't want to nub a cigar, then you didn't really like it. And perhaps it wasn't a good cigar. But it's not always the case. Sometimes you just don't want to nub it because of the way that it tastes in that nub state or as it approaches that nub state. So these things happen where you just don't want to nub a cigar. I'm personally not going to nub this cigar because I tried to the first time and I got a lot of bitterness. And that oakiness really crept up and really just overtook things. And, it's nub state. You're probably supposed to throw it away. Probably. Some might argue you shouldn't. But look, worth a try if you're willing to explore, be adventurous, and splurge the $12-13 that they want for it. And if you can get it, of course, I wouldn't be against someone saying I want to try that despite what I've said. But I still have to add that it's a familiar blend or a familiar profile, and I didn't come away from it feeling oohed and awed, and that's okay too, because sometimes you're not going to feel that way about every single cigar. But I guess I was holding out for a little bit more, maybe because of the whole legacy and the heritage behind CAO and Ozgener, and I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's doing cigars, and I know that he'll be putting out some really interesting things, which I look forward to trying as well. So spicy. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time on Backyard Cigars.